That's right, babies. I haven't drawn a picture for you today, but it is Sunday. We're here. We're back with another one. A fresh new one for the boys. A fresh campaign starts today. I'm just looking to see if I can find... I can't. I cannot. Alright. It begins. I have been off for a little bit. I took Friday off because some stuff came up. Obviously Saturdays I generally take off. We did do a little something on Friday with PB Orkish and Queenie. We played a bit of the one of those backrooms games. But you know, no real streams. No real streams have happened until now, and we're back. We're gonna do some D&D. I'm just gonna make a little token. I actually forgot to make a Liri token. I'm doing it right now. Prepping ever prepping D&D. I feel like all I do lately is just my entire free time is prepping D&D games constantly. Whether it be this one or Cura or other shit that I'm working on, it is non-stop. I'm gonna run out of ideas. I'm gonna run out of creative skill before long. Let's save this. Liri token. I set a special alarm for Sunday streams and named it Brad D&D. In Norwegian, it means good D&D, and I think that is massive understatement for how excited I am for these. All right, if you say so. If you say so. If this is what you desire, then I will provide. I missed the end of Oracle's Rest. Do we get another episode? No, you do not. Now be gone. Be gone from my sight. Your one question for the day. Does the world have a name? No. Just can't breathe. Breathe. Everyone fucking take a breath, okay? Everything was created last week. You were here for it. Nothing else has happened. It was all done last week. It's a procedurally generated game. Were you here? Then you know everything there is to know. Were you not here? Why are you asking me questions? Go back and watch the VOD. Relax. Take a fucking deep breath in. And chill out for a second, yeah? We'll get there. My God, you guys. This is why I can't have children, by the way. Because they'd be like, I'm so excited to go to Disney World, Dad. And I'll be, shut the fuck up. I'm trying to have breakfast. My God. I hate passion. With the passion. Am I in time for character creation? Nope. You missed it by an entire week. We did it last week. Just said it. It's all good. Going crazy already. We're 3 seconds into the fucking stream and I'm already going absolutely fucking crazy in my brain. Brad, who would say you were the primary philosophical influences on your world building approach for today's? Who would you say were the primary philosophical influence on your world building approach for today's campaign, Final Fantasy VII? Haha, you didn't think I was going to answer it, but the answer is Final Fantasy VII. This campaign is Final Fantasy VII. It wasn't me. It's what happened by pure chance. Oh well. Look, it was advertised everywhere, okay? You had your chance. You can watch the world building and character creation last week's episode was that. This is episode 1. Not episode 0. Episode 1 begins now. Today. Well, not right now, because I need a second to get everything set up. Busy yourselves. Can't you play with your like Legos or something? Like 2 minutes? The hive mind. You are the hive mind. Yeah. Yeah, we changed a few things last week. We went in and we changed a few things. The character now has an item slot, a potion slot, a magic item slot, a second magic item slot, and a scroll slot. We were talking about having all of the world's magic be through scrolls, so you have a single scroll that you cast magic from. So you have one, everyone has one spell that you can cast, and then you can swap that out. What I realized last week was, no, it doesn't matter. I did consider adding summons to this. I think maybe that could be fun to have summons added to the wheel spin. So you can spin the wheel and it summons, you know, Ifrit or something. Alternatively, you might just get a summon and you can, you know, spin the wheel to get a new one. But yeah, I haven't implemented it yet because it's going to take a little bit of effort to do. And it's, you know, I feel like we've got space to figure it out as we go. So it's been reduced. Some of the things on the wheel spin has been reduced down to a little bit more of a simplified thing, and then we can, you know, we'll just make it more complex. Last week we sort of built a settlement known as Badgerbrook, and we built a character known as Liri, and we have a sort of a villainous character. It was a waste of a sub. What have I told you guys about subbing on a Sunday? Hold the line. Someone scream, hold the line. Scrolls are not consumable, no. You just have a scroll. So you just can recast. It's every spell is a cantrip. Hi Chris. Clarkson. Sundays. No, Sly Withers, Sundays, I mean. That's your opening song today. You're welcome. And you have a spell scroll already. I thought it would count towards the wheel already. Then you were a fool. And this is why you should listen to me when I speak instead of assuming things. What do we say about assuming? If you assume, you are a bloody idiot. You stupid bloody. Oh, what have I done? What have I done? Did I make an intro for D&D? Kind of. What is this? Some kind of nerd roleplay stream for nerds? Yes, you wouldn't understand. Where's your sister when we need her? She would understand. She plays D&D. I hear she's DMing. Where was my invite? Why doesn't this work? Oh, Jesus. This is going to destroy me today. Hi, PB. Let me just figure this one thing out and then we can get on with it. Hi, Ratch. Oh, it's this. Okay. I think we're good. Who was that? It's Ratch wasting his sub. What have I told you? You going to be playing Warhammer? Dude. He's 3D printing Warhammer and painting it. Is the level of the spell limited, or will the stronger spells have some sort of recharge? Listen. Relax. Jesus Christ. Take a breath. We haven't started yet. Just fucking take a breath. Dude, the fucking people that are like, are you going to be providing a 45,000 page PDF with the specific rules of your silly little D&D game that you fucking put together with built with a box of scraps? I don't know what the rules are. Relax. Rules lawyers already. Nothing's happened. Precisely what will the spell effects be? Relax, dude. It's not a real game. Calm down. I'm having to fucking make it up as we go along. I've refined some stuff based on the previous way we played to try and figure out what would be a quicker, more streamlined experience for you in the chat room. Okay? Take a deep breath in through your nose, yeah? And breathe out. Try and exhale for longer than you breathed in. And shut the fuck up for a second and wait for the game to begin. The worst DM of all time. Honestly, I would be the worst parent. I'm so excited, Dad. Can we get ice cream when we get there? Shut up. I don't know. Do they sell ice cream at Disneyland? My 6-year-old is crying. How the fuck do I know whether we're going to get... What, have I got a crystal ball? I don't know if we're going to get fucking ice cream. Honey, he was just excited. He's been looking forward to going to Disneyland for weeks. With the fucking questions. Honestly, the more that you enjoy the stuff that I do, the worse I treat you. Why? Why must I self-destruct? Just shut the fuck up. Okay, you'll figure it out as we play, won't you? I don't have all of the answers. I have not... I'm not sitting here with a book. I'm like, oh yeah, over the last week I created a D&D 5e streamer edition set of rules. And I've produced this entire book. It's now on sale. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm making it up as I go along. Gromit, when he's putting the tracks in front of him, when the chicken's got a fucking pistol, Gromit is putting the tracks in front of him. Wallace and Gromit is me every week doing this. I specifically don't prepare anything in advance because I think it's amazing that we can actually play D&D and straight up procedurally generate it. And that includes the rules. Okay? Now, that being said, I've prepared a bunch in advance. I've prepared a bunch in advance. No, I haven't. I haven't really. I sort of did a little bit. Not really. I've been up since 6 a.m. Preparing. Really? No. I'm lying. I can't tell when he's telling the truth and when he ain't. That's what I want. That's how I want you to feel. This is where I want you to be. That's exactly the pocket I want you in. I don't know if he's being serious or not. It's exactly how I want everyone to feel about me at all times. It's 6 a.m. It's 3 a.m. It's 3 a.m. The fear is gone. Okay. I'm almost ready. Give me a second here. And we'll jump into it. And then you can ask questions and I'll ignore them. Because I'll be too busy. Brad, did you have time to prepare an intro? No. Brad, did you tell Tiberium not to sub until after the game begins? Because then you can put the subs towards the wheel spin. No. Brad, did you update the character sheet? No. Then why have you put it in the title? Forgot. I'll do it now. We was about to begin, but we're doing it now. You can blame Max. You can blame Max. Hey, Imgur. Imgur. And then the command for character sheet. Save. Okay, try it now. Still says Gary. Why? Wait, what? Oh, it doesn't. For me, it says Gary. It's annoying. How did that update? Oh, not on this website. All right, done. The only preparation was hanging up the tapestry again. Something happened to it. I can't believe they were almost called Daphne. Oh yeah, hold on. One last thing. Busy yourselves, please. One second. Busy yourselves. Okay, play I Spy with Lux. Alright, no, fuck it. Let's play D&D. Should we play D&D? Do you want to play D&D? I can't hear you. Let's fucking play D&D, dude. It's campaign 2. It's episode 1. Will this video work? Temporary video. We had it for Gary, we've got it for Liri. A lone rowboat cuts through the stormy waters. Barely a shadow against the blackness of the night. Rain lashes down, bouncing off the waves. Thunder echoes across the sky. Lightning cracks, briefly illuminating the distant cliffs. A dark castle looms like a spectre against the storm. The figure in the boat remains still, shrouded in a cloak that hides their features from view. The wind howls, pushing the boat closer to the slick wooden docks of Badger Brook. Nearby, 2 guards, cloaked and hunched, walk their patrol, oblivious to the silent approach. As the boat nears the shore, the individual springs into motion. With a graceful leap, they flip out of the boat, the cloak swirling in the air, and discarded, caught by the wind, and disappearing into the storm. Mid-air, a figure is revealed. Blue hair flashing under the dim light, a longbow strapped across their back, a quiver bristling with arrows hanging by their side. They land softly on the slick stone of the shoreline, the rain cascading around them as the storm continues its violent dance. The guards move closer, their footsteps muffled by the downpour, unaware of the figure who stands ready in the shadows. What do you do? What does Liri do? The choice is yours. All subs go towards the wheel spin. We already have a wheel spin from Shadow. Seduce and stab. The choice is yours, chat. You are playing this game, not me. You tell me what you want to do, and we'll play it out. You are the player. You are Liri. Intimidate. This is the only 2 options. Shoot them. Throw guard into the water. Hide behind something. Sneak past the guards. Ask for information. Listen in. Alright. Your options are before you. What does Liri do? If you'd like to vote, you simply type the number next to the option that you want to do. 1. Seduce and stab. 2. Intimidate. 3. Shoot them. 4. Throw the guard into the water. 5. Hide behind something. 6. Sneak past the guard. 7. Ask for information. Or 8. Listen in. What level is Liri? Liri's level 1, right? Level 1 Liri, they call them. Him, them. I'm gonna get so messed up on what pronouns Liri was because I wrote this entire thing last week with no gender in mind, and it has ruined my brain whenever I think about Liri. I don't know. They have no gender, but in my head, I'm too old. Okay. Listen in. Okay. Plan is to listen in. On the dock side, Liri their ears sort of twitching, places himself against some stone. There's a slightly upper level to the docks where the guards are moving forward. This would be a perception check. So you roll in the chat room here. Exclamation point, roll D20 in the chat room. Now, Liri's character sheet. You have a +2 to perception. You have a proficiency in perception. No high whiz stat, but a +2 to the perception check. Keep rolling, we take the second roll. I don't think we've done any rolls today. A 14 +2 is 16 from Liri. Placing themselves against the dock, they listen in, seeing if they can hear anything. Two guards are moving along this dockside. You hear the sounds of their footfalls hitting the kind of rain and seawater soaked stone dock here. You hear one of them say, "What was that noise? I don't know, I think I heard something." Liri does not see this, but we see two dwarven guards looking out into the darkness around the edge of the dock here. There is some torchlight to this area, meaning that no one's dark vision is activated here. One of them holds up a hooded lantern, we see the light shine over the top of where Liri has their body pushed against the stone. Liri lowering themselves a little bit as it does so. The light lands on the small rowboat, which is beginning to float away from the dock. The dwarven guards, with their cloaks up, look towards this thing. One says, "A rowboat has come loose." "Well, I'm not going to deal with that." "Well, neither am I." "Will we get in trouble?" "Aye, probably." "Ah, shite. Alright, come on then. Let's get down there." They start moving down the steps towards the dockside where Liri is hiding currently. What do you do? The guards move towards you. They don't know you're there, but they move towards you. What does Liri do? The choice is yours. This is where you've got to be creative. This is entirely on you, chat. Suggestions in the chat room. Slip past them. Notch 2 arrows and try to take out both guards. Come out and intimidate. Hide underwater. Trip the guards so they fall. Use hide. Dance off. Slump down and pretend to be drunk asleep. Alright. The choice is yours. Slip past them. I think I can do more than 8 options now, so that's nice. I've changed the format of this from the previous one. Slip past them. Notch 2 arrows and try to take out both guards. Come out and intimidate. Hide underwater. Trip the guards so they fall. Use hide. Dance off. Slump down and pretend to be drunk asleep. The choice is yours. Chat, what would you like to do? You can also spin the wheel. Every time we hit 10 subs, we spin the wheel. You have a wheel spin locked. I'll wait till the opening cutscene is over to start spinning wheels though. Shadow has purchased 1 wheel spin, pre-purchased. A pre-purchase. There are microtransactions in this game. Slip past them is the plan. Alright. Let's see. This will be a stealth check. Start rolling. Exclamation point roll D20 in the chat room. Let's see what your stealth skill is. +2 to stealth. +2 to stealth here. Not that 9, keep rolling. We take the second roll just so we can flush out the previous rolls. A 19, damn. +2, that's a 21. Let's have a look at the guard's passive perception. There's no way this doesn't work, but I'm curious as to how well you win D&D today. 12, you have to beat a 12. The guards start moving down the steps. You hear the heavy footfalls of the, relatively large dwarven feet hitting the stone. They turn the corner. Liri placing themselves flat against the wall. The 2 guards moving past, matching their footfalls, stepping with cracks of thunder. Liri slips past the 2 of them and rushes up the steps and onto the dock itself. On the dock, you're looking now at multiple different options as to where you can go. There is, you can continue along the dock towards the, you know what? Let's put him in. Let's put him in. Continue along the dock. East. Head into the warehouses. North. It's a market. It's closed. Where does Liri go? You can continue along the docks to the east. The docks seem to sort of head to basically nowhere, just other areas of the dock. You're on the far sort of eastern side of the dock here. Moving along the docks would take you to other ships, other areas of the dock. There might be stuff down there. You can head into the warehouses north of you. There's a big industrial set of warehouses, harbour docks with those big boat homes and boat houses. And to the east is, to the west is a market which is completely closed. No one there, just lots of strapped down market stalls and open areas that seem to head into the town. Above you is the castle, much further into the town, and the town itself is kind of built upwards and along this cliffside. Badger Brook is a cliffside port town. The choice is yours. North into the warehouses. Moving into the warehouses, we see Liri duck and weave off of the docks and into the darkness, the shadows between the warehouses. A couple of these warehouses are lit up, suggesting there might be people in them, but the entire area seems to be completely abandoned at this point. The lights flickering cast a few little shadows, but for the most part, it's pretty easy for Liri to start moving through these warehouses. I will need another stealth check from you all, however, as you move through the warehouses. to try and access Badger Brook. It is a +2 again, so you can start rolling in the chat room. !roll D20. See here. Damn. Anonymous gifting some subs. Spinning the wheel. Let me see here. And Chen getting us a wheel spin. Let's see. So you rolled a 13. +2. Very stealthy. Moving through the warehouses is very easy for Liri. There is a point where two dwarves, not guards, but people that probably are dock workers, step outside. One of them throws a bucket of something almost directly in front of where Liri was about to step. They kind of move backwards, holding their breath as this water that they're throwing out, this kind of dodgy sea water. There's bits of fish in there that kind of rush out onto the cobblestones in front of Liri. Liri stays perfectly still. The dwarves head back inside. Oh, it's been a terrible night for a terrible. Liri, taking a breath and a moment, scurries past the open doorway into the darkness and into Badger Brook. True. It is now time to spin the wheel twice. The first wheel spin coming from Shadow the Red God. Let's see what you get. Let's see what happens. There are many things on the wheel. You get some gold. You straight up will find some gold. Liri currently has 10 gold pieces. Let's roll a d20. Let's see how much gold you find. I'll put it up to you, I think. What did you get? Still going? Seven gold. On the ground, as Liri is moving forward, there's a sort of a coin pouch RPG noise that happens. In this world, magic is quite hard to harness and control. There are great stories and there are ancient tales told of a wizard, a fool of a wizard who disrupted and destroyed the magic of this land, allowing for people to cast spells exclusively through scrolls. However, there is still this kind of strange spell wind that moves through the world where these bizarre, strange occurrences happen. Stepping forward, Liri looks down and sees a pouch. Swiping it up and looking inside, Liri finds 7 gold. Putting that in the pocket. Do we have that curse and scroll of Crown of Madness from the last spins? Yes. Why wouldn't you? You have a spell scroll slot of Crown of Madness and curse that no fire can ever be put out in the presence of the cursed. If you're nearby, fire cannot be doused. Spinning the wheel a second time. The chat have spun again. time to fucking teleport. Oh, shit. Let's see. The teleportation. How do we want to do this? I'm gonna get my resident backseat, my assistant GM ChatGPT to come up with 6 areas in Alright. 6 areas where you might end up being teleported to, and then I'm going to roll a d6. Okay. Let's see. Rolling a d6. A 3. Okay. Let's see. Suddenly. Liri steps forward, picks up the coins, and the area about Liri begins to invert and shift and change. I think Liri, probably old enough now to know how the spellwind of this world works, kind of rolls their eyes and lands in front of 2 guards at the town gate. There is a moment where the inversion of this world shifts, stumbling forward and kind of gathering their balance. Liri looks up and sees 2 guards standing in front of them. These 2 dwarves are arms crossed, having a nice conversation, cloaks over their heads, but you can see that one has an axe on his back, the other one sort of resting on a spear. The 2 of them just mid-conversation when suddenly you appear in front of them. They're momentarily sort of unaware of your presence, and then suddenly they turn. Oh, shit, where did you come from? Hands to weapons. First, we're going to spin the wheel. Quad vantage on whatever you do next. You get quad vantage on whatever you do next here. Let's see. Let's see, what do you do? Now what is going on here? Are these not registering? What's happening? Is that another 5? What are we on? Why does this keep going off? Is something broken? What is happening? There's another wheel spin, right? Am I missing one? Someone help me. Someone help me, please. It should be at 5. Okay. So where did my music go? My music, my life, my heart, my soul. Okay. Quad vantage. Alright, well, I guess we ask once again, what do you do? 2 guards, shocked, stand before you as you teleport in front of the town gate. What do you do? Offer gold for good work guarding the town. Tell them there is a monster attacking the other side of town. Intimidate the guards. Pretend the teleport was intentional. Spellwind. Hey guys, I live here. May I come in? Tell them you are an inspector. Introduce yourself as their new captain. Say what happened. Alright, there it is. What happened? How did I get here? Did you summon me here? Dance off. Alright. Now we can spin the wheel. You get quad vantage on this next check, but here's a wheel spin. Instant long rest. You feel great. Thank you, Insta-Rage, Anonymous, Lux. Whoever Anonymous is. Whoever are the Anonymouses. What choice would you like to do as you stand before the 2 guards here? Offer gold for good work. Tell them there's a monster attacking the other side of town. Intimidate the guards and pretend the teleport was intentional. Say, Spellwind, hey guys, I live here, may I come in? Tell them you're an inspector. Introduce yourself as their new captain. Say, what happened? How did I get here? Did you summon me here? Dance off. What would you like to do? A James Gunn movie. As you stand before these 2 dumbfounded dwarven guards, looking up at a relatively tall, I think Liri was tall, right? Do we have a height on Liri? 6'5", yeah. 6'5". These dwarves are probably between 4 and 5 feet. Liri, very pale looking. Look, I had a good description of Liri somewhere. Sapphire blue hair, black obsidian eyes. Despite their age of 80 years, they retain the look of someone much younger. Their bodies strong and well maintained from decades of training and combat. An Aasimar fighter, looking like they may be in their very early 30s, is in fact about 80 years old, standing as the rain begins to soak through their hair. Standing at 6'5" and looking down at 2 dwarves, one with black hair braided in multiple different ways, one with red hair that is kind of pulled up into a bun, both of them cloaks up, big bushy beards, one with an axe, one with a spear. Behind them a pretty large, well-maintained wooden gate into the town. Liri looks down to them and says, "What happened? How did I get here? Did you summon me here?" Now this is a deception. For sure. So you can start rolling because you're lying. You're kind of lying. But you do have quad vantage on this. So you roll until there are 4. So we'll take all 4. We can take that 10 from Rachel. Roll again. We take the highest of 4 different possible numbers. Also, you're no longer in a dock. Because you're on the other side of town now. I wonder. I wonder. What are we looking at? An 18? An 18, and your deception is a +3. So that's a 21. The dwarves look up at Liri. The one with the hands on his spear kind of looks to the other dwarf. The darker haired dwarf with his hand on an axe says, "Oh, no, we did not. Where did you come from?" I come from across the ocean. Oh, blimey. Well, this is terrible news. And I don't even have a cloak. Might I come into this town? Where am I? Oh, you've made your way to Badgerbrook. You're from across the ocean. You're a long way away, but at least we've got boats. There'll be boats in the morning. Do you have weapons on you? Yes, I have a bow, a quiver. I have this. Liri also has a crossbow, I think, right? Liri sort of gestures to a smaller, light crossbow on, sort of slung from the belt on their hip. The dwarves say, "Aye. Alright. Have you got gold? You'll not make it far in there without it." Yes. Yes, I have gold. The two dwarves look at each other and say, "Aye, well, there's a toll. In order to come in outside of ours, it'll be 5 gold. He holds his hand out towards you, palm up. "Pay the toll? Question mark. Yes. Pay 5 gold pieces. No. Leave. And any other options you may suggest here right now. Insight check. Are they lying about the toll? Barter it down. High 5. Alright, that'll do. Those are good options. Pay the 5 gold pieces. Leave. Try to insight check them to determine if they are lying about the toll. Barter the price down. Or give him a high 5 as he puts his hands out. Or his hand out to you. Going for the insight check. Okay. Let's see. An insight check. You have a +0 to this. So start rolling. We'll take the second roll that you make here. So not that one, you'll be pleased to know. The next one. The next one that comes up and says the winning roll next to it. A 16. Let's see. You have to beat an 11, which you do. They're straight up lying about the toll. They're corrupt and they're trying to grift you for 5 gold pieces. Pay the toll. Pay 5 gold pieces. No, leave. 3, bar it down. 4, give him a high five. Any other suggestions from the chat to do at this juncture? Toss him 1 gold. Pull them out on the lie. Explain the law that it's not a rule. Show them an insignia of rank and intimidate them to let us pass. I mean, trying to win D&D so much. Go. The choice is yours. Looking like it's going to be a high five. I'll give you a couple more seconds to be sure whether that's what you want to do. Are you sure about that? A high five. You give him. He holds out his hand. Liri looks him up and down and slaps it. He says, "Oh, no, you need to pay. There's a toll to come into town. It's 5 gold pieces. If you've not got it, I'm afraid you'll have to head back out on the road. You've got your bow. At least you'll be safe." They kind of look at each other, a little smirk to their faces as they say so. Pay the toll? No, leave. Barter. Toss him 1 gold. Call them out on the lie. Explain the law. Show them an insignia of rank. Bite off his finger is the final option. An insane choice that I think would really set the tone for the rest of the campaign. frighteningly close to winning. I don't know what is wrong with you people. Here's what we do know. There is something wrong with you all. Call them out on the lie. Liri says, crossing their arms, "There's no toll. You're lying. I know you're lying." The two dwarves look at each other. The first one turns to Liri and smiles and says, "Aye, so what if we are? They're still not coming in, so it's 5 gold, or you can sling your hook." What does Liri do? Pay the toll? Yes, no, barter. Toss him a gold. Explain the law's not really going to work. Show them an insignia of rank. Bite off his finger. He withdraws his hand. Arrow to the knee. Make a bet with them. If you can put out that torch, I'll pay you. If you can't, you let me in for free. Okay. I like that. That's allowed. Shove them out of the way. Are you sure you want to do this, little guy? Warning shot. Next to their face. Okay, the options. Pay 5 gold pieces. Leave. Barter. Toss him a gold. Show them an insignia of rank. Arrow to the knee. Make a bet with them. If you can put out that torch, I'll pay you. If you can't, you put me in for free. Shove them out of the way. Are you sure you want to do this, little guy? Warning shot. Next to the face. Are we metagaming? No, I think Liri knows this curse. I think it's fair that Liri knows this one, because we started the game with it, right? I'll allow it. It's fun. Okay. Liri says, They look over at the 2 torches on the sides of the gates. Sort of underneath, like one of those wooden alcove things that flips up and down to cover an arrow slit in the wall. Looking at the torch back to the dwarves, Liri says, "Alright. How about this? That torch, if you can put out the flame, I'll pay the fee. If not, you have to let me in." They look at one another. What? What are you talking about? It's as simple as that. If you can put out the flame on that torch, I'll pay your toll. Let's get a persuasion check from Liri here. You have a +3 to persuasion. You can start rolling. Exclamation point, roll d20. Pick the second roll. Let's see if you can persuade them. I'll just set their int stat as the DC. A 10. You have to beat a 10. A 17? Damn. So that takes that up to a 20. The dwarves look at one another. A smile across their faces. Are you crazy, elf? Thinks you're an elf. Look at this. It's a thunderstorm. How hard do you think it's going to be for me to be able to put that torch out? Let alone the fact I can just throw it in the drink. There's a moat. The Liri shrugs. Well, do we have a deal? The bet? Aye, we have a bet. This is going to be the easiest 5 gold I've ever made. Takes the torch out of the sconce. Holds it up into the rain. They look at each other. He waves it around. The flame completely standing strong. Oh, alright, hold on a sec. He leans down and dips it into a puddle. The water not going out. Hang on a sec. What the? Now you just hold on 1 minute. He drops the thing on the ground. The torch landing in a puddle in this rain, completely still alight. He takes off his cloak. Hey, hold on just 1 second. Starts wrapping it around the torch. For a moment, it's as if the torch has gone out before the thing lights his cloak on fire. Ah, shite! Ah, bugger! Ah, bastard! Throws it on the ground, starts treading on his cloak. The thing is just burning his cloak now, the flame not going out. Liri, arms crossed. Well, would you mind opening the gate for me now? This is... How are you doing this? I don't understand. Some say it's a curse, but I suppose in this moment, not so much. Bet's a bet. You're gonna pay for this. Oh, we'll get that money off of you one way or another. Bugger it. Fine. Open the gate. Open the gate. The portcullis starts raising. The gate opens up. And the town of Badger Brook reveals itself from the north side, the opposite side to where you'd first rode up to. Liri takes their steps into the town proper and begins to look around. Now, you are here on a particular mission. This place, you were given a quest. You actually have a potential quest here. As you come to enter into Badger Brook. Let me just remind myself of what we generated. Where did I put all this information? Here it is. You step into and through the gates. Now, Badgerbrook is a small but sort of relatively bustling harbour town that is built along the cliffs of a coastline. It still is a dwarven settlement, but it was sort of peaceful and out of the way. Now it's become sort of a place of a hardship. There's a sense of slight degradation to the architecture here. The houses and the buildings all seem to be a little run down, and not just from the harsh sort of weather conditions of being on the seafront, but there just seems to be an element of poverty just to the edges of what this town should be. It should be a thriving trade settlement. There's quartz and salt quarries nearby. They have access to the ocean, which should allow them for good trade. You've come in from a road, so this leads out to somewhere else, but there's an element to this town that leaves it looking a little run down. Most of the homes here have lights on in the windows, and generally speaking the town kind of moves at an angle. You're almost at the top of a hill, and the town has multiple pathways that lead down this hillside with houses and structures and buildings, varying towers here and there that run down this cliffside, slowly sort of descending down towards the dock side. You can kind of make out the docks from where you are, the area that you came up and into. There is some warehouses and things down there where you first teleported up. Sort of built up and out of the rugged cliffside is, however, this large looming presence of a castle, sort of perched partially on the top of one of the cliff sides here. This sort of fortress that sits looming over everything, made of dark stone, with several lights flickering, the lightning striking behind it. You can see that sort of towards the center of the town, you can make out from this position that there is a tavern that seems to be pretty active still. It's probably early evening here. You know that there is a market down by the docks, but you were sort of asked to contact the underground resistance here as a sort of soldier of fortune and a mercenary. Liri picked up on a job by a group known as the Silent Miners, who work out of Badgerbrook here. So your sort of first quest really is to make contact with the Silent Miners. In your letter, one of the resistance members provided this. Let me create a handout for you. Letter from the resistance. Can spell. It says, in the hills where stone meets salt, find the old tunnel where miners halt. The path to freedom starts in dust. Seek the hammer that's turned to rust. Okay. What does Liri do? The choice is yours. It's Edinburgh. Ask around for salt mine location. Research at the pub to find out where the old tunnel might be. Look for the mines. Go to the tavern and ask about the tunnel we've got. The letter feels magic? No. It's just a letter. I think maybe we see... I think, you know, you kind of... There you go. Have those three options. There is, you know, a moment where we see Liri maybe standing under one of the... standing under the alcove of the gate as it closes behind them. Pulls out the letter and reads this part again. It's looking like research at the pub to find out where the old tunnel might be is the option you're going for here. Okay. Yeah, I think Liri starts to make their way down some of these winding paths, moving in and out of the pathways. At places it kind of widens, at places it becomes like a little bridge over sort of rock and cliffside, naturally occurring cliffside. There are many houses. There are dwarves that sort of move every so often past Liri, but I think because of the rain and the storm, for the most part, it's a pretty easy walk. You come to the, and it's called something. The Broken Tankard is what it's called. And let's see here. As you step in to this pub, having to duck a little, 6'5", moving under the doorway. You know, this doorway would be short by any means because it would have been built by dwarves. So on top of that being particularly tall for a, you know, dwarven establishment, ducking down under the doorway, you step in and look about. I mean, blue hair, pristine skin, striking sort of obsidian eyes, very large longbow on the back, that kind of like the sort of leathers and armor of a distant foreign soldier, the type of thing that a distant foreign soldier might wear, compared to what is essentially just a very classic looking dwarven tavern. The people in here are all dwarves, sitting around in lots of, you know, browns and golds in terms of colors, varying different hair colors, but the, you know, the size and stature of everyone in here, it's a very muddy palette when this blue-haired individual who is 6'5", the tallest dwarf in here is probably 5'2", steps in through the doorway. Yeah, Liri looks like... Do I have an actual handout? Let me make one. Liri fucking looks like this. Oh, that didn't work. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Looks like this. Stepping through the doorway into this tavern. There is there's certainly a few people who give you a bizarre sort of stunned look. as you step through. And yeah, this place is grimy too. I don't think that this is a particularly nice establishment. As you step into the building itself, it's just a place for dock workers and miners to sort of gather and drink away their woes. It's pretty lively. There is, you know, a decent amount of people here, but you also get the sort of sense, the sort of undercurrent that there could be an element of danger here. This town was probably once a comfortable and safe place, but with the element of corruption that has bled into every part of society here, you get the sense there are a handful of criminals in here. You get the sense that a couple of the guards who are probably off duty are extremely corrupt. They're wearing black leathers, and they have a little sigil on their chests that very similar to the guards at the gate. So you can make those out. Everyone else seems to be pretty, you know, fine. A couple of people in here have very red noses, as if there's already been a brawl or two tonight. And you get the sense that the ironclad, the watch, don't even involve themselves unless they're bribed. As you step into this tavern, there's a few hushed conversations that take place immediately. A couple of people sort of fall quiet, but a lot of people in here are traders. A lot of people in here are sailors, and so while your presence is bizarre and different, it isn't the most like crazy outrageous thing that's ever happened. The plan was to ask about what was the actual winning thing that you wanted to do. Research at the pub to find out about where the old tunnel might be. Okay. Research at the pub. Find the old tunnel. Okay, you can ask the barman. You can ask a one-eyed dwarf nearby. Ask the mercenary. I can spell. Ask the bard. Ask the cigar smoking woman. Ask the miner nearby. You can tell because he's covered in filth. What would you like to do? Ask the miner nearby. What do you ask? On a table nearby, there is a sort of cheerful looking chap, clearly a miner covered in dirt, a pickaxe nearby, covered in scars, mining outfit, classic looking mining outfit, handful of other people in similar looking wear nearby, drinking from tankards of mead, very sort of every now and then laughs very loudly and claps one of his co-workers on the back as they talk. A very clear table of miners and a very clear sort of alpha in the pack and group. What would you like to ask? Explain we are making our way home and ask about the town history. Casually inquire further if when mining is mentioned. Where can I find some mining work? Any other suggestions? Show them the letter. Make a mining joke. Speak a single line from the letter. Do you know where I could mine for some salt? Alright, there you go. There's your options. Which will it be? What would you like to do, Liri? It's close, but explain that you're making your way home and ask about the town history. I think Liri, sort of towering over these dwarves, steps forward. A few of them look up quizzically at them. I was about to say her, and then the sort of the dwarf that seems to be the leader of this group looks up and says, "What is this? Are you an elf?" No, I'm not an elf. I'm sort of just trying to make my way back home, and I wonder, perhaps, if you wouldn't mind, could I pull up a stall and maybe hear something about your home? I don't really know anything about, what's the name of this place? Oh, it's Badger Brook. Yes, Badger Brook. I wonder if perhaps you could tell me a little about the place. Hey, we can tell you. Come on, sit down. Here. Do you drink mead? Yes, sure. A mead for the stranger wanderer. Yes. The dwarves seem to welcome you. They don't seem to be distrusting of you immediately. There are probably other people in here, but this group of miners don't seem to be too unhappy by your presence or anything. They welcome you and you sit down. The dwarves tell you a little about the town. They don't really mention anything about Vorshek and the fact that the place was sort of overtaken not too long ago by this new sort of tyrannical leader. But they give you a sort of an idea of what the place is like. You know, it's just a harbour town for the most part. People keep to themselves. They do their own work. There's a few different elements to the town. It's ancient. It's been here for a very long time. There are tunnels that run in and out of the cliffside all over the place from the original old settlement of the dwarves that first settled here. Eventually they come round to mentioning that there are quarries, which is where they work. There are quartz quarries, specifically that's where these dwarves work, and there are salt quarries. At the mention of these quarries, Liri says, I mean, I'd like to hear more about these quarries. And they go into a little more detail, claiming that the quartz quarries are huge and relatively far outside of town. The quartz quarry is about an hour out of town. They have to travel to and from. There are tunnels that can take you there, but for the most part they go over ground. These are hill dwarves rather than the classic sort of stone dwarves that live underground. Sort of nodding along, Liri waits for them to come to the information about the salt quarry. They mention that there's also a salt quarry about a 30-minute walk from the edge of town, northwest of Badgerbrook. It's nestled at the base of foothills where the cliffs meet the inland slopes, and you can get some quartz from the salt quarry as well. That from time to time they will extract quartz as well as salt, but for the most part there is a huge salt quarry. One of the dwarves says, "Aye, and there's a hidden tunnel that..." as one of them hits him. What are you doing? Shut up. Liri kind of looks around the table. Aye, so, you know, the salty breeze from the coast mixes with the dry dust kicked up from the quarry. Creates a sort of unbearable atmosphere for most people. Aye, but we're dwarves. We're tough. We can work those places. What do you want to do now? What does Liri do? Suggestions from the chat room, please. Fire them around. Spin the wheel. Thanks, Lux. Find an inn to sleep. That sounds dangerous. Have you put up warning signs? Insight. So we think they're part of the resistance. Oh, Jesus. Whoever got socked for piping up about the hidden tunnel, try and speak to them privately. Ubu, thank you for the 5 gift subs. That's a wheel spin. Talk to the barkeep. Say the line from the letter. Mingle for a while. Eavesdropping, looking for resistance members. That'll do. I think you're good there. There we go. Buy them around. Find an inn to sleep. That sounds dangerous if you put up warning signs. Insight to see if they're part of the resistance. Whoever got socked for piping up about the hidden tunnel, we should talk to them privately. Talk to the barkeep. Say a line from the letter. Mingle for a while. Eavesdropping. Looking for resistance members are your options. And while we do that, we're going to spin the wheel on behalf of Bew and Lux. See if you get anything interesting. See what the Spellwind kicks up. A boss battle. Okay. We'll have to wait a second to see what you can justify. Or say a line from the letter. You say a line from the letter, I think, is absolutely the most appropriate thing that happens here. Which line would get you in the most trouble? Let's have a look. In the hills where stone meets salt, find the old tunnel where miners halt. The path to freedom starts in dust. Seek the hammer that's turned to dust. At the mention of dust, he says something about the salty breeze from the coast with the dry dust kicking up. Liri says, yes, I suppose you could say the path to freedom starts in dust. Everyone goes quiet around you. The miners at the table look at each other wide-eyed, and they quietly back away. Oh, okay. What is that over there anyway? Left at the table for a second and looking around, you notice that everyone in this place starts to move about. A handful of individuals around the room start moving. One of them, a particularly large-looking dwarf in the black leathers and armor and probably chainmail of the ironclad, starts to stand up very slowly and starts moving towards the table. Behind you, you hear two ironclad move together and block off the doorway. You see two or three other ironclad stand up with their hands on swords and axes and maces. A path, like Moses parting the sea, of people is moved out of the way as this very large looking dwarf starts moving towards you. What does Liri do? John gives thanks for the sub, my friend. Flip the table. Try to de-escalate. Jump through nearest window. Wait for him to speak. Is this the very popular dwarf dance ballet battle? Find cover behind the bar. Smile and head butt him when he's close enough. Drink the mead. Okay. The choice is yours. A hulking, menacing figure of a dwarf, standing taller than most of his kin, broad-shouldered, heavily muscled, raw power and intimidation. A black beard tightly braided, streaks of grey, cold calculating eyes glinting, looking towards you beneath a heavy brow. a jagged scar running from his temple down to his jaw. His armor's a sort of mix of iron and dark steel chainmail, battered and worn but immaculately maintained, bearing the sigil of Vorshek's ironclad, a twisted hammer crossed with a serpent. An enormous warhammer in one hand, nearly as long as he is tall. Who can split this? Drink the mead or wait for him to speak? Both. Fuck it. Both. Grabbing the tankard, Liri looks down at the bubbling, weak mead inside and, well, bottoms up, drinks the entire thing down. Stepping towards you, pulling a chair or a stool, or kicking it with his boot, and sitting down, resting his pretty large arms on the table. The dwarf in front of you says,
"Hello. I am Captain Drogath Kragan. They call me the Stonebreaker. Where did you hear that phrase, traveler, wanderer, interloper?"
he says to you. Where did you hear that phrase? He says. How does Liri respond? Maxi Maxis, how's it going, my friend? Thank you so much for the subs. From a friend, what do you say back? The guards out front said it. From a miner on the street, study him. From your mother the other night. From an awakened boar and a meerkat. An old saying from home. It's written right here. I found it. The choice is yours. What do you say? Wonder. The choice is yours. I'm going to spend money. By the way, I've spent money on this so far. This is we spent no money on the Gary one. But I've spent money on this. So far I've spent £5 on this game. I want you to know that. I'm gonna buy a tavern map pack. Because surely you guys are gonna end up in a tavern fight, whether it's today or not, at some point. Dwarven taverns. What makes this a dwarven tavern? This one's good. Kyrie wants a wheel spin. Let's do it. Wild magic surge. Okay. Liri says the guards out front said it. I wondered if it meant anything. Let's see.
For the tavern.
For the tavern. Deception check, please. Chat. Exclamation point. Roll d20. You have a +3 to deception. We take the second roll. Goblin Spore, thank you for the sub. Bubu, thank you for the $10. Kyrie. Maxi Maxis, thank you for the wheel spin. Let's see. God, what did I say? What was this place called? This one. Let me just create a tavern out of nowhere. Just in case. You can't worm your way out of it. What did you get? A 13 plus 3. Right. Was the deception? Yeah, +3. Okay. Let's see here. I need to... Let's see what he is. Now you are level 1. What is the maximum CR you can fight? Challenge. Monsters by challenge rating. Let's have a look here. How does the wheel deal with multi-month subs? No idea. I wish I had an answer for you. I do not. What is taking so long? While we wait, let's roll a D10,000. The wild magic surge. /R 1D 10,000. 185. That should be interesting. That's pretty low. 185. All writing in the caster's spellbook turns blurry. I think this has absolutely fucked you. Because you don't have a spellbook, but you do have a scroll. And when you got to pull that scroll out, it's going to be blurry. Curse. Scroll is blurry. What does it mean, Braid? Find out. Now, why isn't this working? The most annoying thing. There we go. One quarter. An acolyte. Bullywug. Oh, a Darrow. A drow. I just need a humanoid to base this off. This guy's abilities. What's a Grimlock? He's a pixie. He was a fairy. Rock Gnome Recluse. A Turtle. Oh, we're into this. We're into halves now. Okay. Now Darrow has these abilities. Or Grimlock is this. A Rock Gnome and a Turtle. We'll use the Grimlock stats for him for now. Now, let's have a quick look at his brain stats. I think it's probably fair that he has the same brain stats as a Grimlock. What was the number he had to beat? What did you roll again? 13. So it was a 16, wasn't it? To see whether he believes you. Right? Yeah. Roll for the Grimlock, yeah. A 6. Now the lie was, I heard it from the guards outside. What did you guys say? We heard it from the guards out front. Was what you said. I think. Yeah. Liri says, I overheard the phrase from the guards out front. The dwarf looks about.
Is that right? Aye.
He clicks his fingers. One of the dwarves opens the front door. There's no one there.
No one there. No one there. Which dwarves out front?
The front gate. I've only just arrived in town.
The dwarves at the front gate. Tell you what. If they're going around mentioning things like that, that would make you a great asset to me. Rooting out members of the resistance. However, if you're lying to me, I would suggest that makes you a very dangerous individual. A stranger coming to my town, mentioning phrases associated with very dangerous organization. Let's see. Go and find them. Ask them what they know. Why they would say such a phrase. And hurry up about it. Aye, Captain.
The two dwarves that were barring the doorway open the front door, step outside and start moving up towards the front gate. The dwarf in front of you, Captain Drogath, says,
Stranger. Wanderer. Do you have a name? Where are you from? And what are you doing here?
what does Liri do? He says, what is your name? Where are you from? What are you doing here? How many are left? Him and 4 others. Tuck your mum. The name is Liri, and the spellwind teleported me here. Give a fake backstory. Someone told me they needed help dealing with the resistance. Draw the bow, intimidate. Attack. What do you do? Liri says, well, the name is Liri, and the spellwind teleported me here.
Oh, aye, did it now? So, by pure chance, I take it, you ended up here of all places in Badgerbrook, tonight, during this storm. Is that right?
What do you say back? Well, I guess what do you do? What does Liri do? Spins the wheel. Another curse. Alright, we'll figure that one out in a minute. Yeah, sounds about right. The guards can verify my story. That's him. Point at the dwarf. I don't know what that means. What dwarf? Bond with him by telling a sad story about your sick aunt. Spellwind's a bitch. Spellwind, you know, it could have been your mother. But you never teleported to a strange location during a thunderstorm? Yes, it would seem so. Now, what is this about a resistance? Where I come from, we handle them quickly and quietly. It seems like you've got a problem if your own gatewatch is on it. Alright. curse generator from D&D. I'm gonna roll the dice. D100. I've rolled a 36. Each non-cursed member of the group should be asked to name a common word. Oh, we can't do this one. This is just a fun way of doing something else. Try again. 90. The curse becomes a natural target for burglars. Each session they will lose some value, some of their gold and possessions that are not carried with them. Hiring guards, hiding valuables, or placing valuables in a vault will provide only temporary release. Each of these will eventually become overcome by burglars. I'm just going to go with the curse becomes a natural target for burglars, and that's what it is. Alright? That's the curse you've earned. If you want someone to blame, blame Nuerg. Liri kind of leans back in the stall, looks at Drogath, and says, "Yes, it would seem so. Now, what is this about a resistance? Where I come from, we handle them quickly and quietly. It seems you've got quite a problem if your own gatewatch is in on it." I don't think you need to make a check for that either. The dwarf sitting in front of you says,
Aye. It's a wee problem. We've all but stamped them out. Don't you worry about that. He'll get what's coming to him.
A moment later, the door opens again. The two returning guards and one of the guards from the gate. The guard at the gate with the black beard and the axe says,
Oh, already causing trouble. This one didn't pay the toll.
A few laughs from the dwarfs around.
Captain, you wanted to see me. Aye, I did. This one claims to have appeared suddenly on the Spellwind. Aye, she did. They did.
In fact,
Aye, she did.
they
did. As you saw this. Aye. We saw it up at the front gate. Be careful though. They're tricksy. They're able to, I don't know, control fire, perhaps? Control fire. Is that right? Okay. One last thing. They claim that you mentioned something about the resistance at the gate. Resistance? No, we didn't say a word. Is that right? You didn't say the phrase. The path to freedom starts in dust. The path to freedom starts in... Is that a resistance thing? I don't really know. It seems he's got no idea what you're talking about, stranger. Wanderer. Interloper.
What does Liri do? What do you want it to be? The guard tried to hide his resistance mark by burning the coat, you see. He is lying and he burned his own cloak on it. He burned his own cloak, spat on it and said the line. Claim they mistook us for someone else and handed us the letter. They say, of course, he's going to deny it. How else would you all like? What are you saying right now? Is this what you want them to say? You want them to say, would you all like to play a frustrating game of Deadlock? How else would I have heard it? They're the only people I've spoken to. Take a dwarf hostage aiming the crossbow. Fake it and pass out. You wrote fact. Do you remember that song? Eminem. Did that new Eminem album is not good, is it? What a shame. What a terrible shame. What a wonderful day. Can't watch that movie, but I do want to watch it, but I can't do it to myself again. What do you say to Captain Drogath Kragan, the Stonebreaker? That's yours. It's yours. Liri says, well, how else would I have heard it? They're the only people I've spoken to. Drogath looks from Liri over to the other dwarf, back to Liri. I think it's a good time for a deception check. Another deception check, please. You have a +3 to this roll. Exclamation point, roll d20 in the chat room. $12, not that one. Keep rolling. We take the second roll. A 2. +3 is a 5. It's not good. The dwarf in front of you says,
Now, if that were true, Targal, are you a member of the Resistance? Are you spouting off Resistance lines for newcomers, to people at the gate that appear out of thin air?
the dwarf with the black beard that met you at the gate says,
Sir, I think you know I'm not.
Drogath says,
That there is Targal Frostbeard. Targal, your father was a member of the Resistance, was he not? Aye, you well know he was. And what happened to your father? I cut his head off. You cut his head off. Why? Under orders from Vorshek, my father was a member of the Resistance. Right. Now then, stranger, wanderer, interloper. If there was one member of the Resistance in here, under my command, I would hedge all my bets on it not being that one dwarf. You say you're traveling. You're passing through. No. You're going to the dungeon. You're under arrest.
The dwarves suddenly move towards you. The dwarves that are around you. The dwarf in front of you leans back as you suddenly hear blades, axes, and hammers being drawn. And a group of dwarves start moving in, closing in around you. What does Liri do? You have a spider on your shirt. Stab his hand into the table and run. Throw the rest of the mead into his face. What spells do we have? You have Crown of Madness. You have a Crown of Madness scroll. It's a very good scroll. You have a high level scroll. Cat's Crown of Madness on the dwarf. Zigzag through the dwarves and flee the scene. Go with them, let them arrest you. Hide lockpicks in hair and let them arrest us. Try to light him on fire. Light the whole tavern on fire. This is it. What's it gonna be? The choice is yours. Vote. Stab his hand into the table. Throw the rest of the mead in his face. Cast Crown of Madness on him. Zigzag through the dwarves and flee the scene. Go with them. Hide lockpicks. I'm going to say attempt to hide lockpicks in our hair and let them arrest us. Try to light him on fire. Light the tavern on fire. What's it gonna be? 7 and 7 between spider and stabbing and casting Crown of Madness. Who can split it? It's split. Cast Crown of Madness on him. The dwarves begin to move in around you. The plan here is to cast Crown of Madness. You pull out the scroll. Let me pull up Crown of Madness. Crown of Madness. You pull out the scroll from a scroll holster, a scrollster on your hip. Whipping this thing out, undoing it, and attempting to cast the spell here. You look at the words on the scroll. Now, due to a curse that you got earlier on, the scroll is blurry. Roll me a d20. If you roll above a 10, you can cast this. If not, you fail. The bizarre sensation that washes over Liri as they look across the words on the scroll, they begin to blur and twist and shift before their very eyes. Not that two, the next one. Keep rolling. Second roll. trying desperately to remember what the words are, Liri begins chanting, quickly trying to run off the words of 4. Dominus Patrius Molius. Dominus, Domine Patrius. Liri cannot remember the words. The spell fails as you attempt to cast this spell. It is an epic fail from Liri here. The dwarves crowd in around you. I'm going to give you one last chance, I think. What does Liri do? The dwarf in front of you doesn't even respond. A smile curling up. Arrest her now! The dwarves around you all pull out their weapons and they rush you. You have a moment, 1 moment to react. Surrender. Set everyone on fire. Dive out of the window. I think honestly, these may be your only options. Epically slash and stab all the dwarves around you. Fire bow. Hide lockpicks in hair as we raise our arms in surrender. Jump into the rafters, I'll allow, because you're very tall. I don't think you can talk your way out at this point. You've just attempted to talk your way out and failed. Jump over the dwarves and flee. At this point, it's a matter of surrender or action. Take action. But what? In either surrender or, you know, take action, but in what way? The choice is yours. Surrender. Set everyone on fire. Dive out of the window. Epically slash and stab all the dwarves around you. Fire your bow. Hide lockpicks in hair as we raise our arms in surrender. Jump into the rafters. Jump over the dwarfs and flee. What would you like Liri to do here? Outnumbered, outgunned, middle of the tavern. Jump into the rafters. Okay. Let's have an acrobatics check. You have a +2 to acrobatics. So roll me a d20. Exclamation point, roll d20 in the chat. It's pretty easy to do, so I'm going to say it's a 10 you have to beat. Not that 9, keep rolling. Second roll, we get rid of the previous rolls. It's always the second roll. A 12. You jump. Just suddenly sitting on a stall, kind of partially already in a squat, right? When you're sitting on a stall. Liri's legs power. It's not far to the ceiling here. The rafters of this tavern running along above where Liri is, suddenly Liri launches themselves up. It's a deft and it's not like elven graceful, but it's experienced. Gripping onto one of the rafters and bringing themselves around and into the rafters suddenly, and in a moment, Liri is in the rafters. Now, you are in the rafters, but what's the plan here? This is a dwarven establishment. You don't have a lot of room up in these rafters. You're not running around up there. You're laying down in the rafters. What does Liri do? What's the plan here? You have an AK-47? No, you have a longbow. You have a longbow and a light crossbow and a whip. Which was going to become an issue when you tried to slash and stab and stuff. Look for an escape through the roof. Cut a hole in the ceiling. Do we have something flammable in our kits? You have a tinder box, which means you'd have to stand there and escape through the chimney. What is the roof made of? Thatch or hay? Could we cut our way out? Let's see. Let's roll a little dice here. I'm going to say 1d6. A 6. It's made of stone. One was going to be like, yeah, thatch or hay. And then just, you know, going through that wood, tiling, stone. It's stone. It's a stone roof. Dwarven stone roof. Whisper for the spell wind to help you. That's not a thing that will happen on anything other. That's money. You have to pay for the spell wind. Use the whip to grab alcohol and use it to spread fire. Set the blurry scroll on fire and drop it. Longbow the lighting, darkening the room and making a stealthy escape. Tie the rope on the rafters and sling out the window saying, "This is the day you'll always remember as the day you almost caught Captain Liri." What do? You're in the rafters. Look for an escape through the roof. Cut a hole in the ceiling. Escape through the chimney. Whisper for the spellwind to help you. Use the whip to grab alcohol and use it to spread fire. Set the blurry scroll on fire and drop it. Longbow the lighting, darkening the room and making a stealthy escape. Tie the rope on the rafters. Sling out of the window and say, "This is the day you'll always remember as the day you almost caught Captain Liri." In your best Johnny Depp impression. I mean, it's already won, hasn't it? Okay. Let's make an attack roll. Chat, start rolling. The attack roll with the whip here. You have a +4 to your attack rolls with the whip. I'm going to say this is pretty easy for you to attack the thing. It's going to be an 8 that you have to beat. Keep rolling, not that 15, unfortunately. A 6 or +4 is enough. The whip comes out. Suddenly unraveling this whip, whipping the rafters below foot and then falling underneath it. The whip holding strong as Liri falls, rolling off of the rafter, 2 hands onto the whip, and begins to swing towards the window. Acrobatics check now, please, chat. You have a +2 to this, but this is going to be a little more difficult, I think. I think you need to beat a 12 for this. Roll higher than a 12 on your acrobatics check. You have a +2 to this. Not that 2. Next roll. Got to beat a 12. A 6 +2 is an 8. You have to beat a 12. Liri falls off of the rafters and says, this is all like in that sort of anime style of way too much is happening in 1 second, and they're also getting whole monologues out. As they begin to like swing and roll off of this thing, Liri says, "This is the day you'll always remember as the day you almost caught." Bang, hits a wall. Rolls down the wall next to the window, landing on the ground. Ugh! Whip still curled around the rafter here. You land on the ground. Looking up, a bunch of dwarves descend upon you. What does Liri do? We're going to spin the wheel. Something good is going to happen. So, not what does Liri do, what good thing happens? Now, this is not a full-blown Deus Ex Machina. This is like a minor good thing. Jump through the window successfully. I won't make you roll for it. That's the level I'm talking about. Resistance members join in to help? No. The dwarves become your friends? No. That's Deus Ex Machina. Deus Ex, Deus Ex. Minor good thing. A very minor good thing. The guards burst out laughing. That's good. I'll allow that. When we fall, we knock out one of the dwarves. I'll say one. One of the dwarves, yeah. The rafter breaks and the roof falls on one of the dwarves. Starts a fire. Rafter breaks. Starts a fire. Alright. Jump through the window successfully. The guards burst out laughing. You land on one of the dwarves and knock him out. A rafter breaks and knocks out one of the dwarves. Or the rafter breaks and starts a fire. You guys are obsessed with starting a fire in this place. I'm not sure why at this point, but fire is dangerous for you as well, by the way. I just want you to know, if you're on fire, you can't ever put it out. It's so much more dangerous for you. You will... If they're on fire, they could run out of your sort of eye line and just jump in the water, whereas you will just die. If you are ever on fire, you will probably die. The fact that you only thought of this as a thing that will be helpful for you, the only thing I could think of the whole time was if you ever get caught on fire, you will die. I would be doing everything in my fucking power to avoid fire, and you guys are like, let's burn the entire city down in episode 1. You guys are crazy. Truly crazy. All right, tiebreaker. Which one's it going to be? Who wants to break the tie? Jump through the window successfully. I feel like I might have saved your lives there. Some men. Landing on the ground with a thud. Ugh. The dwarves descend The captain stands up. Captain Drogoth. Arrest her, I said! They begin to rush towards you. Liri shakes their head, jumps up, and then turns, diving through the window. There's a smash and a crack as you jump through this window successfully, rolling in the rain and thunder, the filth and the glass and the wood from the window as you roll over, your longbow clattering, and then standing up, looking into the tavern, seeing the dwarves rushing towards the window, some of them rushing out the front window. I think we see Liri run into the night of Badgerbrook, the thunder storm continuing above, and that is where we end session 1 of campaign 2. The Legend of Liri has begun. Here's what we're going to do. Next week, we're going to open up with a chase scene through the streets, of course. And we're going to roll a dice to determine whether you get the whip back. It's stuck in the rafters. Or whether it's lost. Guys, thank you so much for playing. Twitch Plays D&D. Dude, that was really cool. I feel like this whole thing was also really different to the previous campaign already. This felt like a real D&D session. This was so legit feeling, maybe. I don't know, maybe it was just me. I enjoyed it. Liri's kind of cool as well. Gary was kind of dopey. Liri just ended up being kind of cool. You know, not perfect. Fell, didn't quite do the epic escape. The town, we've built up the town a little bit here. We've introduced the town of Badgerbrook in the campaign. We have a minor villain that's appeared, Captain Drogath. And some really interesting things came from the wheel spins. Thank you so much to the people who used, who paid for the microtransactions, paid for the wheel spins. I hope you are happy with the insane amount of curses you got, such as the Crown of Madness, Blurry Eyes. Yeah, man, this was cool. I really enjoyed this first session. I'm really glad that it came out like this. It's always scary doing a difficult second season, isn't it, of a show? We'll see what happens next week as you're chased out of the tavern, and see if you actually do. Technically, you should have had a boss battle there, but I figured at level 1, sometimes a boss battle doesn't have to be a fight. The boss battle was the battle of wits between you and Captain Drogath, with the threat of an actual very, very deadly fight for you in the tavern. So I don't know, man. I really enjoyed it. Quite a few interesting things. Good opener. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to play this every Sunday. If you want to continue watching this campaign, there will be a second episode next Sunday at 2 p.m. UK time, which is 9 a.m. Eastern. Obviously, there'll be VODs as well if you want to catch up. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Let's go and see my friend Chris. He's just started up his Spotify watch. What are they called? Watch parties? What is it? Spotify Jam stream on Twitch. He's been doing music streams. You can join the Spotify Jam and listen to the music, and you can request songs, and everybody listens to music together. He's kind of like a DJ, and everyone can request songs. So if that sounds fun to you, let's go and raid my good friend Chris Coolblog, who's just started up doing this on Twitch. He's been doing it on YouTube a little while, but he's doing it on both now. And I'll be back tomorrow. We're going to carry on playing Star Wars Outlaws. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Also, if you like D&D, follow Table Story, where we run regular D&D games over there as well, if you want to see me GM something legit. Thanks again for watching. Have a good day. Peace. Bye.